setting. So please come to a comfortable sitting position if that's okay for you, but also it's fine to lie down if that feels more conducive. So start by just bringing all your senses and your energy back into your body so you can feel what is right for you. And for most of us, it's more helpful to close the eyes when we start to tune in and come home to the self. But if that's also not comfortable, then you do whatever feels right for you. And just take a moment or two to welcome yourself just as you are. So even if you've got difficult symptoms like fatigue or pain, just see if you can allow them to be as they are. So you're not resisting anything in your current moment experience. And then thinking about energy, have a sense of calling all your energy back to yourself. So, you know, over the last week, maybe you've been dispersing your energy outwards on people, on activities, on worry, on fear. Just bring all that energy back home to yourself now. Allow it all to settle into your heart. And then we're going to take our index finger and we're just going to massage above the ear in little circles. And then behind the ear, this is just helping to release the scalp. A lot of tension accrues here. And then we're just going to gently pull on the earlobe. And then if it's comfortable for you and your nails are not too long, just take your fingers and not too far into the ear, just very gently make circles in your ears. And then releasing that with your index finger, take them to just above your neck, the back of your head, your cranium, and again, just massage gently. Little bit of self-care, self-compassion, and then very gently just pull the fingers apart. So you're stretching out the skin between them at the back of the skull. And you can actually, for this, use all your fingers if you get hold of more skin there, just to release the back of the neck. And then releasing your hands down to your knees, just think about the position of your neck. Because as I often say in this class and the Wednesday class, very often we have the poked head forward, something I do myself because we're all using these. So we want to remind our head where it should be. So just to do this, just lift the chin, lengthen the back of the neck, and then tuck the chin into the top of the chest, into the sternum, as if you were making a double chin. So you're matching your ears in line with your shoulders, because this is going to release tension. We want to release tension because that uses up energy, and it also reminds our body to stay in fight and flight. And then still with the eyes closed, if that's okay for you, see if you can soften around the eyes, because we hold so much tension around the eyes. It's also where science says most of our mitochondria are. So just allow the eyes to soften. And if you like, you can bring your fingertips just around the eyes just to help that feeling of softening. Almost as if the eyeballs are rolling back and releasing. And then releasing the fingers now. With the index finger again, just come to the jaw, just circle around the jaw to soften the jaw. And then release. And then finally, let's just take some shoulder rolls. If you're already lying down, you can draw the shoulder blades together. But what we are doing is helping the body to come out of activation, to come out of any chronic stress, to tell the body it's safe. And we do this by releasing the jaw, the neck, the chest, all the areas that tighten when we're in fight and flight, which very often we are chronically without realizing it. And then release. And then just take a moment to check in. And the question is, how am I? How is my mind? How are my emotions? How is my physical body? How is my energy? And can you accept that? Can you allow it without resisting it? Which is the most challenging thing I know, because we so often subtly are resisting our present moment experience, and we don't realize it because we don't stop to be still to realize that resistance. And then just see if you can connect with something true about yourself behind the thoughts and the emotions, something very still. And as you're doing this inquiry, try not to judge, try to be compassionate. And then we're just going to do a little movement called garlanding. You can do this from lying too, but I feel it's more helpful if you're sitting, but don't worry if you're lying. So I want you to be aware, I quite often have talked about the 7 chakras, but above your head is an 8th chakra of light. And this is quite often depicted in religious photographs as like a halo, but we all have it. It's just that we're not always very in tune with it. So what I'd like you to do now is just to lift your arms and feel above the top of your head and tune in to a feeling of light there. And this light is infusing into your hands. And then you're going to draw this light around you, and you're going to draw it around the body. So you are bringing a healing circle of light around you. And again, you can bring your hands above your head. Feel that light, that energy coming into your hands. Feel the light above your head, and then you're spreading it down and around your body. And then finally, you're bringing it to your heart. Just drop your awareness into your heart. And then we're going to think about our breathing. So leave one hand at the heart, the other just take it below, slightly below the belly button. And you're going to direct the breath into the lower hand. So as you inhale, the lower hand very slightly balloons out, not too much. The chest is relatively still, and as you exhale, the hand drops back. And again, this is a breath to tell the body, to tell us we're safe, coming out of the stress response where we tend to breathe from the chest. If you can, breathe through the nose. And just take a moment or two observing the breath like that. And then see if you can slow your breathing down. So nothing is forced. You're not trying to force the breath to be slower, but just allow it to be like a comfortable, slower rhythm. And then this morning we're going to do 2 pranayamas, very simple. We're going to start with the coherent breath, also in the yogic philosophy known as samana breathing. So for this, you can leave the hands where they are, or you can take them away. You're going to make your inhalation the same length as your exhalation. Now you can do that by rhythm alone, or if you find it more comfortable to count, you might like to count for 4 in and 4 out, making the rhythm something that is comfortable for you. Slow, even breath, even inhalation, even exhalation. And then just breathe normally for a few breaths, or you might like to continue with that rhythm. And again, just tune into how you're feeling, just observing if the breathing has had any effect on the mind, the body, the emotions. Just observing neutrally, without judgment. And then for the next pranayama, I'm going to give you a choice. You can either hum on the exhalation, or you can chant Om with the Om breath. So you're going to breathe in through the nose. Om. Or if you prefer, in your own breathing and in your own pitch. As I said before, it's always a choice. You don't even have to make any noise if you prefer not to. But just try that for 3 to 5 breaths, because again, we know that humming has a very profound effect on the nervous system. And we know that chanting Om has a very grounding and nourishing effect. Your own breathing rhythm, your own pitch. And again, when you've finished, have that feeling of bringing all the senses home to you, just observing how you are, how your inner self, your true self really is. And as you observe, see if you can just glimpse behind the thoughts, behind the emotions. Thoughts are always there. We're not trying to get rid of them, but we are trying to detach more from them. So we're not getting so absorbed in all the thought chains and the stories, which kind of take our senses out and take us away from ourselves. And then when you're ready, and if you would like, I'd like to invite you to come down to lying. So as always, you can lie on a sofa, you can lie on a bed, or you can lie on the floor, whatever is comfortable for you. I always suggest that you have something under your head. I personally need something under my head because it just helps to relieve the back of the neck and bring the chin back down to the sternum. And you might like to have something under your knees, or start with your knees bent, because this helps the back to relax. And then you're going to have, in the classic Shavasana, if you're on your back, you'd have your arms away from the body with the palms turned up. For some people, that their shoulders don't like that. So you might prefer to turn the palms down, or even to have them on your body, on your belly or on your chest. So just take a moment to work out what makes you feel relaxed and safe and comfortable. I'm just going to join you so that if anybody's watching the recording, you can see me. And if your knees are bent, you might like to draw the knees together so that you're conserving a little bit of energy. And then just very gently, 2 or 3 times, draw the shoulder blades together. You might not even need to lift them off the mat. You just have a sense of drawing the shoulders and then relaxing. Drawing the shoulder blades together and releasing. And then thinking about the neck, we're very slowly going to roll the head from side to side. As slowly as you can, because slow movements, again, they bring in the parasympathetic nervous system, they tell the body it's safe. So as slowly as you can, roll the head one way. And then come back to center. And then the other way. And if you want to engage the breath, you can inhale when you center. Exhale as you go to the side, but you don't need to worry about the breath. And observe if the neck feels different one side from the other. So just watching. And then centering. And then again, let's just check in with the breath, if that's okay for you. If it's not okay for you, just be aware of the softness in the palms of your hands. If you're okay with the breath, hands slightly below the belly button, the other hand on the heart. Breathing into the lower hands, slowly through the nose. And then we're going to release the hands and stretch the arms up, palms facing each other, fingertips towards the ceiling. And we're just going to circle into our wrists to release around the joints. And then we're just going to stretch up a little bit more. So we're almost lifting out of our shoulder joint and then release the arm down. So just a couple of times like this, stretching up and releasing, stretching up and releasing. And then we're going to do some more either humming or oming, depending on which is your preference. So you're going to breathe in, where you are. And then opening the arms, Om. Inhale, palms come back towards each other. Look up at the camera if you're not sure. And then Om. Either oming or humming. Inhale. 3 to 5 times in your own breathing rhythm. Om. And your own pitch as well. And then if it's okay for you, we're going to do some full body stretches. So just slide one heel along your mat, then the other to join it. And then inhaling, take the arms up and behind the head. Maybe the back of the hands come to the floor, maybe they don't. If your shoulders are stiff, open your arms. If you've got shoulder injuries, You can keep one arm at the side or rest it beside you, so do not move through pain. And then breathe as you gently draw the toes in towards you to flex the feet. And just opening up the front of the body so the diaphragm is free and you can breathe as you hold the stretch. And then we're going to relax the stretch. We're going to breathe in. And then on an exhalation, slowly entirely with the out breath, we draw the palms back down beside the body. And then take yourself through that stretch once more, but this time instead of flexing the feet, try pointing the toes away from you. So you inhale to lift the arms up to wherever is comfortable. You breathe as you point the feet and you draw the arms away from you. Keep breathing, and then when you're ready to come out, you relax your stretch first, you breathe in, and then breathing out, you draw the arms slowly in time with the exhalation back beside you. And then when you're ready, you're going to draw one knee over the belly, and then the other. And then you're just going to enjoy rocking out the spine from side to side. Remembering that rocking is very good for the nervous system. Again, it's telling the body we're safe. And then you can either rest with the knees over your belly, or if you like, you can just stretch your arms and legs up and just have a shake. But if that's too much for you, listen to the body. Don't push. Rest with the knees over the belly if that's better. And then again, draw the knees back into you. Now hold either around the knee or under the knee or below the knee, whatever is comfortable for you. And we're just going to gently let the knees come away from us as the elbows straighten with the inhalation. And then we're going to hum the knees into the belly. Inhaling, elbows straighten. Inhaling, elbows straighten. On the Wednesday class, I'll be getting you to draw your abdominal muscles in. Inhale once more. And then just rest for a moment or two. You can drop the hands down the side of the body. Just rest the knees over the belly. Again, just tune in to yourself if your senses or your thoughts are scattered. Draw everything back home to yourself. Feeling into your body and how you're feeling. Be aware of the contact of your back with your supports. And then we're going to take one hand to each knee. We're going to push the knees away from us, open the knees, draw the knees in towards us and bring the knees together. So we're circling, feeling the movement in the hip joints. And also being aware of the massage at the base of the spine. Just loosening up any tension that we hold in the lower back, but also in the hips. So the whole of the pelvis bowl is getting some movements and fluidity into it. And then we can take the circle in the opposite direction. And then when you're ready, drop the feet to the floor or your support. Slide out one foot, then the other. And just lying in Shavasana, the relaxation posture, please get yourself ready now for our Yoga Nidra practice.